Okay, let's begin. Thank you everybody for coming. Hopefully there are a couple of people in Zoom too. Okay, thank you those people also. Okay, it's my great pleasure to have Dr. Feng-Bin Wang from Taiwan, Chang Gung University, Taiwan today. He's a professor there, full professor in university, and actually he did his PhD from Tsinghua University, right? After PhD, he did postdoc there, and after that he came to Canada to do postdoc where I was doing postdoc too. So we were postdoc together, and but we were doing with the two different supervisors, and we talked and we started working. And I think like that can be one of the very good experience and good examples of having good collaboration. After that, we have several publications, several projects going on. We did so many things there. And after that, he went back, and now in Chang Gung University, he's a full professor. And his research interest is in nonlinear PD and mathematical biology. In general, differential equations, but PD plus mathematical biology. That's his main field, and he has received a number of awards from Taiwan government, and also there is a NCTS, National Center for Theoretical Science in Taiwan, very reputed institute. He's one of the main driving force there, and he has got an award from there too. Now he has a lot of publications. He's really expert in actually analysis of mathematics and telling what math can do. Not like a computation only, really through the analysis what he can do. So let's see what he can say today. Yes, all yours. Thank you.
Okay. Thanks for the introduction. And I also thank Professor Namin Media for the invitation. So I have this chance to visit this beautiful city again. And today I will talk about the homogeneous map and the application of homogeneous map to some ecological model. And when we studied some mathematical model, sometimes the first stage is to determine the steady state or the equilibrium. Okay, and the second stage is to do the local stability of this equilibrium. And usually or always we can do the linearization and get the linear system, and we can do the stability. But this talk I will mention some model, and we cannot do the linearization around the trivial solution because we will have the singularity. For example, we will have the 0 over 0. I will show you later. So my talk will divide into two parts. The first one is about the disease model, and the second part is about the ecological model. But actually, this talk is motivated by the ecological model, which is one of the chapter of my PhD dissertation. But actually, we submitted our work here. Our work was published in this here. And initially, we developed some theory about the reproduction number for the homogeneous map of a nonlinear system. And in the paper we give an example and to show how to define the reproduction number associated with the homogeneous map. But the referee complains our example. He says the example is too complicated. It's not easy to understand. So he asks us to find some simple model. And finally we find this one. We found a model related to so-called pair formation and the mating behavior. So firstly, I will focus on this topic. The model will be simpler comparing with the ecological model. So first, I will talk about. I will introduce the mosquito growth model with mating behavior. Then I will talk about the Quinn-Newton theorem for the homogeneous map. Of course, Quinn-Newton also holds for the linear system. We just to extend the theory of linear system to homogeneous map. And I will briefly introduce the basic reproduction number for the homogeneous map. And I will talk about the reaction-diffusion system. And also I will mention the invasion of mosquito to a new habitat. So the reference is basically my talk is based on this paper and this paper. It was submitted recently. Okay. The following I will the model was. You mean the definition? Yeah, I will show you. You finish this model. Okay. Probably next page. And actually, as I mentioned, I don't know. I did not know this model. But the reference asked us to find a simple one, so we searched the reference and we found this one. They proposed the following mosquito model. So U sub A represent the population of the accredited mosquito, and the UM and the UF represent the mature mosquito. So this one is the mature male mosquito, and this one is the mature female mosquito. And this is the natural death rate for the accredited form. And this is the natural death rate for the mature mosquito. But here it can be challenged here because someone told me the natural death rate for male and female mosquito can be different.
I have a question related to the type. What do you mean by sexual population?
You mean this one? Because we have the male and the female. Okay.
Bisexual means something else.
Well, yeah, not in the biological sense. Biology.
You know how the thing transpired to.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I would just.
So anyway, here.
yeah.
That's okay. Go ahead.
That's
They
1988.
have dioecious mosquito.
So that is 1988 paper. So that time maybe that what it is. Yeah.
I think it was.
I just wrote all the comments and everything.
Yeah, that's not it. It's not that word. Yeah.
Okay. So okay. So this is the natural death rate. This is the natural death rate for mature and immature mosquito. I will talk about this term later. And the gamma T represent the maturation rate. Okay. And when the accredited mosquito, the accredited mosquito can mature into the male and the female with this probability. Okay. And K represent the carrier capacity because the environment is limited. So we usually can use this term to represent the carrier capacity. And this term here, I just adopt the definition or the model from this one. Let's say they present this term. It describes the so-called mating function. Let's say this term represents the mating function. Okay. So here, it's easy to see the trivial solution is the trivial solution is the solution, and so the trivial solution means 0, 0, 0. Okay. 0, 0 is the solution of this system. But if we want to do linearization, we have trouble because we are 0 over 0. Okay. So how can we do the probability? For my experience, I just remove this term, and I can gather this system. And we denote this term by F1 here. And this term is F2. And this term is F3. Then it specifies the following property. You can show you specify this property. Then F2, F3, of course, they say for this one because it's linear. The second one and the third one are linear. So they satisfy this property. And it's so-called homogeneous map with degree 1. With degree 1 is here, the power. And sometimes we usually say it's homogeneous. Okay. So basically, we cannot do the linearization. So for the classical model, we can get a linearization, and the linearization system can determine the dynamics of the original system. But here we cannot have the linear system, but this homogeneous system can control the dynamics of the original.
You just throw carrying capacity?
Yeah. Just remove that term.
So that means there are infinitely many carrying capacity.
But the motivation comes from my PhD dissertation. Yeah. Actually, initially, I don't understand it. I don't know how to do it. Okay. So, and to replace the seasonality, we also assume the coefficient are time periodic. Okay. So now we want to define the process to define the reproduction number is similar to the linear system, but the theory is quite different. Okay. So next we want to define the reproduction number. So as the linear system, we divide this system into two parts. One part is the so-called the new inflation or new production. Another part is the so-called internal evolution. For example, in the movement or natural death or maturation. Okay. So for this system, we can divide to 10. We can define these two to 10. The first one is F, and another one is minus VT. And that means we want to rewrite this term into this form. Actually, we want to rewrite this system. Something like that. For the linear system, okay, F and V are matrix, but it's not a linear system. So we need to define in this way. Okay. For the convenience, we say that this is the first component, second, third. So actually, this one represent the new production. Okay, and this term represent the internal evolution. So then we can assume that this one represent the evolution family associated with the internal evolution system. So that is this one is the evolution family determined by this term. Because V is defined in this way. Okay. Then use our theory in this paper. Then we can check all the conditions will hold. So by execute the detail. Here, I just mentioned this one. we assume the V is the initial state. So this is the initial state, and this term represent new infection or new reproduction. And then it can also have internal evolution. It can it can have movement or maturation or death. But of course, the pattern can be exchanged. This is a new infection first, and then they have internal evolution. Of course, we can have the internal evolution first, and then we have the new infection. But that's okay because the eigenvalue of A times B and the B times A should be the same. So I think that is okay. And then we define the reproduction number is the spatial radius of this operator. Is the so-called next generation operator. Of course, it's very abstract, but we can do some numerical simulation. Yeah. My course work on some numerical simulation, but we had a problem. It's very slow. It's slow.
Maybe because of parameters?
Because of the linear term. Yeah. I don't know.
Non-linear term. Why? Because we linearize that.
No, we cannot linearize.
No, don't we have that F and V matrix is linear?
No.
Oh, you still have that non-linear.
Yeah, it's non-linear, so it's homogeneous.
This is a non-autonomous system, so how are you going to find the steady state? How do you even do that?
Let's say it's not. Yeah, we cannot say we can say it's a trivial periodic solution. It makes sense.
Here, steady state doesn't mean actual constant. It
Okay.
means that makes the derivative zero. So you can have a periodic function as a steady state function. Just derivative zero.
So
You're
a
right.
time average or something, or?
No, it's not a single. It's like a function, right? You
Yeah.
can get, yeah, function.
It should be 0 or t equals 0. Okay. Yeah. So we don't have the constant. We have the time periodic. So later we will show our result. The state should be time periodic solution. Probably I need to say the trivial solution is time is also periodic, no problem. Okay.
But the function, they're not always, they're only going to be able to equal 0 at certain times, I'm assuming. Unless you just have like trivial function.
This one is also a t periodic solution. According to the constant, so it's also time periodic. I mean the trivial solution. Every yeah.
I can give you. For example, dy dt equals to at minus bt, right? You're right. They are not constant. They are not zero. But at minus bt always balances on the derivative with zero.
How?
That kind of condition. Okay, that's your steady state is not actually the thing. Usually we think, but as a function, but those two functions balance of that derivative is always there. That's possible, right? That's what you have from the moment.
So I need to say trivial periodic solution.
I think so. Steady state. That's right.
Not a steady state.
Yeah.
Okay, thank you. Thank you, Eloy. Okay. Here, we will define the reproduction number from the biological meaning or ecological meaning. Okay, right? But now we want to understand. This is for the biological viewpoint. And here, in the trivial periodic solution is stable or unstable, determined by the spatial radius here. Okay, or I need to say Capital U, TS is the T periodic evolution family determined by the homogeneous system, some similar to our linear system. This one. This one. So we need to say, and we want to understand, we want to define, we can give an index to determine the local stability of the previous solution, previous T-periodic solution. So it determined by this one, the so-called the spatial radius. So mathematically, if this guy is someone, then the trivial solution is local stability, local stable, locally asymptotically stable. If this guy is greater than 1, then it's unstable. Okay, so we need to establish this relation. Otherwise, we don't know the property of the R naught. So here we can say, with this lemma, we say if R naught less than 1, then the trivial solution is locally asymptotically stable. If this guy is greater than 1, then the trivial solution is unstable. So we need to have this connection, this relationship. Let's get the proof.
One thing I'm still confused is, in general, reproduction number means average of one person, how many children it can produce, right?
Yeah.
So to make this one person, we linearize. That's why we linearize. When you linearize, then you get equivalent to the average. But here, if you don't linearize, maybe you don't get that average. You get something else.
Actually, I linearize.
Okay, that's why I'm saying you have to linearize.
But mathematically, I cannot say I linearize.
Reproduction means, yeah, average number, right? So average means when you linearize, it's equivalent to 1 you get, yeah. So, okay, so if you linearize, that's okay.
Yeah, when I was a PhD student, I don't know how to do it, but I just linearize it.
Okay.
And I do ignore some ugly term, and actually I get this one. So we can say we linearize that mathematically, I cannot say it. Okay, so we have this property. Okay, so on the sample on S1, I can determine the local stability of the trivial solution. But we want to understand the local behavior. So I think I skip you. I thought the time is 4:20, right?
Yeah, roughly 420.
Okay, so I skip mathematics.
Yeah.
Okay, here, if the reproduction number is less than 1, then we can show the species will die out, the mosquito will die out. It makes sense. Okay. Recently, we also prove we can prove if this guy equals 1, it also die out. Okay. For PD, we just submit our paper and we prove the
For PD.
Yeah, for PD. I will mention later. And if the reproduction number is greater than 1, okay, the system will admit over here.
That also is strange. I always get question, why, what if R0 equals to 1? And mathematically, I can never answer that question usually, because when you have R0 equals to 1 means there is always, if there are 50 people, always 50. If 50 mosquito, always it produces 50 mosquito. So you should have a maintain, right? It should not die out. So not for OD. You are saying for PD, dies out means where do the mosquito get lost? It's through the diffusion maybe. They get lost somewhere. They have to get lost. Right? You say
you mentioned the biological.
Yeah, because R0 is the average number of children it can produce, for instance. And if you say equals to 1 means always they produce the same number in average. So that means you should remain the constant. But you say dies out means there should be loss of population somewhere. And only in PD means maybe through the space it is lost somewhere or something.
We can prove it.
Exactly.
But theoretically, I don't know how to explain it.
Okay, so maybe if we look at the mathematics details, then we can figure it out by the.
Okay, we can
Yeah.
discuss
Okay.
in office. Okay, here, I think you mentioned that you this guy is greater than 1, then that means a periodic solution. It's not a constant, positive periodic solution. And it's globally asymptotically stable.
Oh,
Yeah, so now you got it now.
that is
Yeah.
But that was a very good point.
So of course, the 0, 0, 0 is also a periodic solution, no problem. And okay, we can prove this is a unique positive periodic solution, and it's globally asymptotically stable. That's because the original nonlinear system, and they have a very good structure. So, but I'm not going to mention. Okay.
Please don't quite, but like, okay, so you're saying the trivial solution, it's like something that it'll change over time, but it'll oscillate around some point as you approach infinity, and then you can somehow what that point is mathematically or something. Is that the idea?
Okay. It can be very the dynamics can be very complicated, right? But this system is different. It's a so-called cooperative system. Cooperative system.
Yeah.
So it's a monotone system. So the dynamics can be simpler. This is the first point. And the second point is, I actually ignore the mathematics. The second point is this system satisfies the so-called subhomogeneous. And for system, the system is cooperative, is monotone, and also satisfy the subhomogeneous. Then it must at the means and hold one periodic solution. We have this property. So I hide, I ignore the detail. So, but otherwise, that can be very complicated. You are right.
Does it like imply that you can like write it or?
Can you write the expression for the solution? That means
The-
the analytical expression for the solution. That's his question.
Okay.
You said
so-
they
so-
exist, but can you write that? Can you find that?
No.
solution? No.
No. Theoretically.
Yeah.
Theoretically, we can for this kind of system, we just only need to do generalization, or we cannot do generalization. Okay, we can determine the stability, local stability of the trivial solution. If this guy is unstable, then it must at the means a unique unperiodic solution. We have this strong property. But you cannot write down. No, I cannot write down. I write down. But we can because it's the ODE. But later I will mention the PDE. No, it's impossible. But theoretically we can prove it. Yeah. Yeah, you want to find a solution that we need to do simulation. But theoretically we can prove it, no problem. Yeah, you are right. Otherwise, for other times, the other system it can be very complicated, right? It has some good structure. Otherwise, I can do nothing. Let's give the mathematics. Yeah. Now, so in the first model, we only consider the ODE. That means we assume the species only depend on time, right? But probably it makes sense to more reasonable to assume the species will depend on time and location. In different locations should be a different population. So the author, they introduce diffusion term into the system, and they assume the habitat is a boundary domain. And they use the the normal boundary condition. No, okay. So the other thing are the same, but the only difference is they introduce the diffusion term. Okay, and they also define again. They remove this guy. This is the characteristic depend on time. Actually, it also depend on space. But okay, in their paper, they assume it depend on time only. So ignore this term. Then again, we get the homogeneous. And this guy, from this guy, we can use our theory to define the reproduction number. And again, we can have the similar result. If the reproduction number less than 1, then species die out. And if the reproduction number is greater than 1, then we admit a time periodic solution, and then it's global asymptotically stable. Same reason. The same because the structure, good structure. But here, it can be challenging here. Here you say, this guy is the equator mosquito. They stay in the water. And the US are mature mosquito. They can move or they can fly freely, right? So some biologists or most biologists think, comparing with the mature mosquito, this guy cannot move. Okay. So probably is more valuable to ignore this term. But we have some mathematical problem here. Here we just remove the diffusion term from the first equation, because some biologists think this one should be more valuable. But we have some trouble because we don't have the diffusion term. Then the solution map are not compact. Okay, so we need to overcome this property, and this difficulty was overcome by our recent work. Here, I want to mention the so-called the major or non-compactness. Okay, so given a bounded set, and the cell can have a finite number of diameter with relation R. Take the in of the diameter. So if this guy is unbounded, then this measure is infinity. And if this guy is pre-compact or ecology is compact, then if and only if this measure is 0. So of course, if the set is compact, that is a good set. But if it is not compact, we can also do some clarification. Okay, so here, this for the quantitative figure, actually, for the original one, we need to assume the operator is compact. But for our case, it's not compact because we don't have a diffusion term in the first one. So we need to assume this one. The measure of the operator, the image of operator, can be controlled by the measure of B and the time the scalar. And the scalar lie between the 0 and the 1. So we can replace this property. And the compactness can be replaced by this property. Okay. So we need to, and again, we ignore the here. We ignore these parts, and then we attempt the homogeneous map again. Here. So it's not compact, but we can pull some property like this one. So we assume capital U GS is the evolution family associated with the system. Then we can pull the following result. Here, the key point is this one. This is the operator. So the operator, the image of this operator, and then we take the measure, it can be controlled by this one. And then you can see this guy, okay, eta is positive, so this guy lies between the 0 and the 1. So actually satisfy, it's not compact, but it satisfies this property. Here. So we can use the Quinn-Newton again. Okay, so this is the main point. Let's give the mathematics. The same thing, the same idea, we can define the reproduction number.
When you define the production number here,
Yeah.
should not you have that initial distribution, time and space?
Actually, we have space.
We have, you have.
Which have hidden, he was
You
hidden.
just didn't write here, but
Yeah.
we have time and space.
Actually, yeah, you are right. We ignore the notation. The same thing, okay? And here we also give a way to do the numerical simulation. Here we introduce a parameter mean here. And again, we can find a new evolution family, depend on mean. And numerically, we can compute the spatial radius. We use the spatial radius will depend on different parameter mean. Okay, and when mu equals someone, then when this guy, when the spatial radius equals 1, the mu equals mu 0, then the mu 0 is this guy. Okay, so it provides a way to do some numerical simulation for now. Okay, I know this one. So here, as I mentioned, if this one is less than 1, then everything die out, no problem. If this one greater than 1, then we can admit the time periodical solution, depend on time and the space. And it's globally asymptotically stable. And then if the reproduction number is equal 1, because 1, mathematically, we also prove the species will die out.
For PD system, have you also done for OD system if R0 equals to 1?
I'm not sure. I do PD.
Okay.
But probably OD also holds. I don't know.
Yeah.
We can discuss it. Yeah. Yep. So you can see in my previous work, I usually get this case, get from this case. I did not mention the property about this case. Okay. Sometimes we want to discuss the so-called invasion. Okay, the invasion of mosquito to a new habitat. So the habitat is replaced by R. Okay, and we can discuss the spreading property and the existence of trivial wave solution. But I'm not going to mention to present this part. So I omit it. 10 minutes. Actually, the second part is about the ecological model. So initially, my motivation are from this model. Okay. So this is the so-called chemos in the lab. So it contains the 3 bottles. The first one contains the nutrient needed for the species growth. And they can be pumped into the second one. Then the nutrient and the species react here. And then the product will be pumped into the third one. And we are interested in the dynamics of the second bottle. Okay. So firstly, we assume the nutrient and the species can be well mixed in the second bottle. Doesn't mean we don't need the species only depend on time. Okay. So we use the OD to describe the dynamics. So here, I represent the nutrient U represents the species, and this is the input concentration. This term represents the uptake function. This one is the growth function. So for the first model, we assume the uptake function, the uptake is proportional to the growth. So this Q is constant. Analytically, we say the Q is the nutrient quota of species. It's defined in this way. And for this model, we only have one result. Only one species will survive. So this is the so-called compactness exclusion principle. Okay. And the second model is here. In the previous model, we assume the quota Q is a constant, but some biology thing is not correct. So they propose another one. R and the small u. Okay, again, R is the nutrient, U is the species, Q is the quota. But it satisfies another function. So another equation. So biologically, they say R is the external nutrient, Q is the internal nutrient. It is stored within the individual. So individual consume the external R, and it becomes the Q. But species will grow due to the stored nutrient. Okay, so it probably is biological thing is it makes sense. So Q is the average amount of stored nutrient per cell. So then we will describe the uptake function and the growth function. So here, for the growth function, when the average stored nutrient is this value, then it can grow. Otherwise, it start growing. For the uptake function, it depends on the stored nutrient and the external nutrient. So, of course, it's the increase function. And the low Q is a decrease function. And again, we have later. Now we do we introduce a new variable here. Q is the average stored nutrient per cell. Q is the total population of cell. So we can say capital U is the total amount of stored nutrient. So mathematically, we can this model. The model can be transformed into this one. Okay, but for this model, we have some problem here. You can see when U equals 0, then capital U is 0. So again, we cannot do the evaluation as a trivial solution because we have this term. So this is a problem. But this guy it can keep a good structure. Here, when you add up this equation and this equation, we found this guy disappear. Then we have the so-called conservation. The sum of R and U, I mean, in the long term, the sum of R and U, capital U, is the input concentration. So that means the new external nutrient can be replaced by Rn minus capital U. Mathematically. So we can ignore this guy. We only need these two equations. But R equals this one. And for this model, okay, the disadvantage of this model is the singularity, 0 over 0. But the advantage of this system is we have this guy is the monotone system. Again, we have a good structure, similar to the previous one. it's open system. It's a subhomogeneous system, similar to the model with mating behavior. I don't show the detail. Okay. So again, they prove consider the two will survive. Okay. For this one, we want to do the local stability. This one is difficult to do the linearization. So no problem, we can go back to this one because they are equivalent. And we want to have a good structure, then of course we go back to this one. But this is ODE. But if we consider the PE, then they are not equivalent because we have the diffusion term. Okay. So far, we assume the second bottle. The report we only use the POE, that's because we assume in the second bottle the nutrient species can be will miss. But it doesn't make sense, right? So if in the will depend on location. So the stage out here. And here the coding equals 0. Here coding equals 1. And we introduce the diffusion term into this equation. So we got this one. Okay. Again, this one we have problem with the regularity here. And then with the boundary condition here. Okay, I need to say is when we work on this one, we have two problems. One is from mathematics. So I did not know how to handle the singularity. And after I finished the mathematical part, it was challenged by referee because we just use the mathematical idea to introduce to consider the model. So this one was rejected several times when I was a PhD student. But recently, not recently, but after the paper we found several journal, economic journal. In some economic journal, we also find some similar model. The difference is our motivation is our habitat is the chemo, and their habitat is the water current in the ocean. But the equations are the same. Okay, so I think that our model is to be recognized by the ecologists. Not everyone, but I think some biologists recognize it. Okay. When I was a PhD student, I don't know how to handle the singularity, so I used to control the upper order solution. Well, I could. If the mixed concentrate is big enough, then it persists. If they send this one, then it die out. But again, we can, it's not this one. Here. Again, I found here, we want to simply say that it is an original system, and we want to understand the dynamics. Again, I ignore this one, the capital U. I delete this one. Then I attend this one. This one is again the homogeneous of degree 1 because the reaction can satisfy this property. So we can also define the reproduction number, and we can show when the reproduction number is 1, then species die out. when the reproduction number greater than one, then it means a unique positive solution, and which is global asymptotic state. And actually, this is for the single nutrient. Actually, we also consider the two essential nutrient. It's very complicated, and I don't have time. I just show you. Here, you consider the two essential nutrients. For example, oxygen and water are essential for us, right? So we take the bottom. We take the minimum because we compete for the least resource. But for this model, we also have another problem. But you want to solve that in our recent work. Yeah, now this one. You will submit by probably I showed our paper in the first page. So I think I finished my talk. Thank you.
So I can ask on this, because you develop so much theory, everything is mathematical, and all that is coming from the model, very vague model developed by somebody. Instead of doing all those things, detailed maths, can you simply modify model reasonably and everything makes it simple? We don't need any just non-singularity math. You start with the model, take a new model like to describe that phenomena, just modify it a little bit. Instead of, for example, UF over this plus UF, maybe put it some constant or somewhere and make it model non-singular and everything is fine. Can you do that? Yeah, because why do you have to have that model and take so much stress in the math?
Yeah, I understand.
Like maybe it's not mathematical question, it's just a.
But our motivation is different. For me, because I spent the years on the ecological models, and actually I almost get on my PhD because I had some troubles, you know. And then I understand you well now, so I want to develop the theory parallel to the linear system. Yeah, but you are right. Probably we can modify the model.
Yeah, simple, make it simple, and also question those models. Of course, they are developed by ecologists or something like that. Makes sense, maybe, but did they actually fit the data and validated by data? Those models or not?
Yeah, they have data.
They have data. They actually fitted and validated by data. Those models.
The model. I forgot to mention the habitat can be three habitat. The first one is the chemos in the lab. The second one is in the river. The third one is in the water column. In the river, my collaborator James Glover, yes, he has some data from the river in Texas. Yeah, so he had some data. Yes.
Yeah.
So yeah, I think the model was very complicated, but I'm kind of wondering if you simulate it and then use like Cindy to learn a simpler model.
Simplify?
Like to learn you like apply like a what is it, like a dynamical system like identification like software or something. See if it learns a simpler model. Would you be able to prove that the simpler model has any of the properties of the original model?
Yeah.
I mean, yes.
I don't know.
Properties, these properties are related to math.
No, but
like a compactness,
I think that
math related property. And you're saying simplified model, it is already simplified.
No, that's not what he said. What he's saying is you use dynamical systems to develop or derive a simpler model, supposedly that have the same characteristics
No,
of the
I
messy
got that.
one, the messy one, and then take that one and prove the problem.
I got that. That's why what I'm trying to answer is, if your question is like that, suppose this all theory and gives us something new phenomena of biology, then you can ask that question. Because this all property gives a new characteristic, like you mentioned, new phenomena of biology, new thing. If that is the case, yes, you can ask that question. If I develop a simple model and I just recognize dynamics, do they still have those characteristics? But what I was trying to say is, what he has developed, everything requirement, all this structure is not biological. That's actually, model is already there because of the formulation of the model, like a non-singularity, those are all mathematical properties. And so if you modify the model, depending on what model it takes, maybe you still have those, maybe you may have non-linearity, maybe you don't have it. So it depends on what kind of model. But remember that these models are all developed like theoretical. You need to have this kind of characteristic, this kind, like all this kind of things he developed. But it doesn't, I don't see like it has given new biology, anything, right? It's still the same, like whatever model does, simulation was that. Do you get my point?
So, okay, so you're saying this model is complicated as it is, it's already the minimalistic model to embed all those properties. And if you made it any simpler, you'd be sacrificing some of the, like, non-singularity.
To get those mathematical properties, that's why I was asking, do we really, I'm with you in some way, I was asking, do we really need that model? And is there a data that actually, do we really need that kind of like a UM, whatever gives you singularity? Do I really need that? Maybe I can modify, and that's the same question we're asking. And so that if you modify, you don't have these properties in whole theorem, you don't have any of those things. Because if biology, if this model has this, or this all theory has described biological properties, this model has described something, then if you don't have that simple model, then it can describe or not is a separate question. That's also a valid question. We need to have a simple model maybe, and you don't need all of these complications. That's also a valid question. But here, all the things, complicated properties is talking is not into not from the biology. Model is already there, and look, and we believe that okay, that model is good.
Yeah.
That model we need it. To analyze this model, there is a complication of mathematics. Then to overcome that mathematics, you develop all these techniques.
My purpose is, okay, firstly, as you mentioned, I recognize or I suppose the existing model are correct. And I'm trying to overcome the mechanical analysis. Yeah, you and mentioned probably we can modify the model.
Yeah.
And to escape from the difficult mathematics.
Exactly. I would think that because rather than developing math, I like modeling. So that's why maybe I can just make some trick and nice like you mentioned. That's one of the way. What I was saying, that's one of the way you are saying may help. Because you do some dynamical whatever software and look at this. Oh, we don't even need this model. Very simple. It can describe whatever you are going to describe. Then in that case, we may not need it. So depends on.
Yeah, I mean, like if you like look at the model, it's kind of hard to extract like some kind of insight about the biology.
Yeah.
I don't know. But,
yeah, that I agree. But really, that's why I was asking data. Maybe it's reasonably, I may be able to describe in a very simple way.
For models, okay, the biological, many biological recognize the model, and they also have some data, but they don't have, they only have the simulation. They don't do analyze.
So that
they don't have analysis result, analytical result. And I'm trying to provide analytical results.
So then his point is, what he's drawing is not like just a random model. It's biologically recognized, well-established model.
Yeah.
People haven't analyzed, that's why I developed it. That's what your point is, right?
Yeah, of course, the model can be challenged. All models are wrong.
Okay.
Right.
Yeah.
but some are useful. Okay.
Any more questions? Okay, if we don't have questions, let's thank our speakers and to maintain our tradition, we are gonna go to